Hey guys, welcome back to the icow series. Today we're going to be looking at Royal versus Queen, and well, something went wrong with my audio in this video, and I lost the intro. I lost the first 6 minutes of audio. I really have no idea what happened, so I'm going to have to record this again. Then I'll hand it back off to my past self. Sorry for the sorry for the confusion here to start this off. I basically talked a bit about how I messed with the audio on stream yesterday. I went on stream and tried to flip or invert a section of the vocals for the games in this series, and use that to cancel out the audio in the game. So I tried that. That took a very long time. It was like 2 hours or something like that to actually make that work. That was somebody from chat. Somebody in the comments, I believe his name's Locke, in the comments said that I should try that. So I tried it. It didn't actually end up working. It didn't really work for all the audio or for all the vocals, and it had some problems with making the sound even more garbly. But later on in the stream, my brother Misha from Russia, the comrade, came through and said, you should try this website. So I checked it out and gave it a shot. It actually sounds a little bit better. I would say like 10 to 20% better, with the background sounds coming through a little bit more clearly. We still have the other sounds like keyboard clacking and mouse clicking in the background there a little bit, so kind of bear with it here, guys. It's gonna get better over time. I'll find other ways to kind of remove things and you know, try to improve this system as we go. But yeah, this should be a little bit better. Let me know in the comments if you feel like this cast is better than the last one in terms of the in-game sounds, because I thought that they were a little bit more clear. They came through a little bit more often. It was quite a bit more work to make it happen. I had to break up the file, and like I had to render the audio file only, then break it up, and then put it through this thing online, and then put it all back together again, and make a new file, you know, render a new file with the vocals removed and the video all lined up. And then I was finally able to cast the games, and so here we are now. But so I'm only gonna keep doing it if it's actually worth it. So let me know in the comments if it is actually worth it, because then maybe I'll follow it up. Oh, he gets the SCV here at the beginning of the game. That is rough. And I mean, this is a CC first. Royal's gotten away with a lot here. Just losing one single SCV is not going to be too bad. As long as he blocks the incoming lings, as long as these lings don't get by and into the main base. He's got the bunker. He's actually already blocking here on the ramp with the 2 SCVs. He's actually trying to get past the SCVs now. Bring this Marine over to where it can actually help. But there are more lings coming. Don't be too greedy here, Royal. He's actually going to take some damage. Here comes the lings running by. Lings running by, but there's 2 SCVs coming down the ramp at this precise moment. So he will have a lot of time to block, and he's actually getting so much damage on these lings as they try to come up the ramp. Beautiful block there from Royal. Having those 2 SCVs waiting on the ramp makes all the difference in the world. And so he's able to block this out. Very well done. Very nice hold there. And the position is actually undeniably good now for Royal. Like, this is a fantastic position. And the reason I wanted to see this series is because how good Royal did in the KCM. How good he did in the KCM this week. In fact, I went back and watched his performance when he actually won the ASL today and yesterday. I went back and watched his performance in the semifinals versus Solkey, and it was a lot of fun. I forgot how crazy Roy was back then, and I forgot how many mistakes Sulky used to make. He made a lot of mistakes, a lot of things that he wouldn't have done if the games were played in 2025. This is a mistake right here. He actually had an opportunity. He got a kill on the Lings, but he keeps moving out here. There was some good footsie movement there from RoyaL, kind of moving over to the left-hand side, dodging the Overlord. And he picked up a Ling kill, but he actually got too greedy. He wanted to keep pushing forward, and now he's lost a bunch of Marines. So this game evens out in a big way after you lose your first group of Marines. It's a little bit tricky now for RoyaL to try and come back. This is a great block on the ramp with 2 medics. Kind of smart here by RoyaL to make sure that these Lings can't run by, get into the main, and cause problems for the turrets that are building. Because they need to be perfectly timed here as the mutas come in. If not, he's going to be in a lot of trouble. And so the mutas are going to come flying in, taking a look at this main. They see the turrets there. The Marine medic count is not big enough to threaten a counterattack onto Queen. So he actually has to stay here and just take this. This should not be the case if he hadn't made that earlier mistake. He went for the CC first. Had he just waited for the medics to come out and then pressured right now, he would be in pretty much a dominant position. But now he's got to kind of sit back, and this allows Queen to kind of do his work. He'll be throwing down a lot of turrets back home. He has to throw down a ton of turrets right now because he just does not have the Marine numbers to keep up at the moment. Link's gonna come forward. The bunker stands strong though, and although 1 turret goes down, no more SCV damage. Only a couple of Marines picked off, trading out for some SCVs. He's opened up the position enough, or maybe he can come in here for a little bit of poke. Try to get a couple of SCVs. Still 2 turrets are attacking. Okay, just 1 turret right now, attacking those Mutalisks as they fly in. He's reduced the SCV count, I think, enough at this point to get a transition rolling. And so we're going to see that here pretty soon from Queen. Might just fall back, make those transitionary buildings here in a moment. How far along is RoyaL in this transition? I think he may have the factory finishing up here soon, but he's not quite there yet when it comes to, you know, a Valkyrie or Valkyrie popping out or a science vessel. Instead, going to be relying pretty heavily on just pure Marine medic and trying to put on some pressure here to prevent Queen from just diving his main. I think the starport may have just started there in the main. This Bioforce heading out, going to be able to threaten bottom left at least. Force these Mutalisks to turn around and head back. He gets the scan off. He knows exactly where it is, and so he can start beelining towards that area. Right now, just going to obfuscate on the map. Try to hide his Marine medic as best he can. You can see Queen eager to find out where exactly that's run off to. It's just barely out of vision here, I think. He just hasn't quite seen it. And so RoyaL may be able to surprise him, suddenly arrive down at that bottom left. It's really important for Queen to find this bio ball as soon as possible. And there it is. He is going to spot it. Some of his mutas not combined with that control group. One of them ends up dying. And now everything's been spotted. Queen will eventually whittle this down. The reinforcement's just not going to come through fast enough. And so this will all die. Very good cleanup here from Queen, keeping the majority of his Mutalisks alive and really taking control now in this game. It's tough enough when you lose your first little group of bio out on the map to make a comeback as Zerg, but now that 2 groups have been killed, that first by the Lings, the Speedlings out on the map, and then the second one by the overwhelming number of Mutalisks, it's going to get pretty hard here for RoyaL to put on any pressure and force Queen out of his base. As soon as he kills these turrets on the ramp, things become really scary for the Terran player. Looks like he'll be going Valkyrie, but The timing's not that great. It's almost 10 minutes in, and I expect to see a hive like nearly completed back at home, if not done already, for Queen. We haven't seen getting a shot of the main base of Queen here just yet, but double Valkyrie about to pop out. That'll be the moment for RoyaL to push. This is going to be a really key moment for RoyaL. We can get over here and actually deal some damage. It'll have to be as those Valkyries pop out and start to pressure back the mutas. Still being very active with this, keeping the pressure on. The two Valkyries pop out. They'll both get their shots, dealing a good chunk of damage to these mutas. And here comes the Marine move out immediately after. How close is Queen to a transition? Lurkers are already on the way, and I'm imagining Hive is going to be finishing up here soon. Still not getting a shot of that Zerg main. It's clear that our observer is a Terran player. Or maybe a Protoss. How key is it, the actual timings on the Zerg buildings? Hard to say if you're a Terran player. Hard to say if you never play Zerg. But it certainly is important. Very meaningful in this matchup when that Defiler Mound is going to be done. There it is. Defiler Mound is like just about done here. So clearly RoyaL's not really going to have a timing to try and break open Queen, but maybe he can clear Overlords and open up a wow, those Scourge did nothing there. The Valkyries all live, and he's gonna try to come forward with a scan, try to shut down some of these lurkers. Pretty good connections there with this spines. They're actually gonna clear out a lot of these Marines, but you know what, he wins the fight. Not bad. Now, is he gonna make double drop? Oh yeah, he's going for it. I knew it. I was gonna say, before we had that last fight, clearing out the Overlords, opening up the entrance to the main base, and then just hitting with a ton of drop ships all at the same time. It's coming now in towards this main. Double lurker here, plus a defiler. Is he still gonna pull the trigger here on diving into this main base? I'm not so sure. Scourge and Mutas are coming back. I believe that's a bunch of... Okay, there's no Scourge in that group. It's just Mutas. Here he comes into that main base. Is there going to be a Plague? I don't think he's got Plague. He's got Dark Swarm for sure. No Plague here. There's the Dark Swarm. Gets thrown down. This one Lurker gets pushed around the side. It almost dies before it can even burrow, but it looks like it will indeed burrow. Flying back here into the pocket. Gonna drop next to the Nidus Canal. Can he actually kill the Nidus Canal? Is unloading a lot of Marines here, and in fact, too many Marines for the Mutalisk to handle, and the Nidus Canal will end up dying. Big moment here for RoyaL as he gets in and really starts to hammer on the damage. Ooh, nice target fire there on the Lurker as well. Gonna get a second Lurker and even more drone kills as he runs behind this mineral patch. The dropships managed to make their way out, and they're heading back towards the natural, looking to pick up even more units and keep this pressure going. Onyu on screen there for a moment, likely celebrating or thanking an audience member for continuing support for this tournament. You can see some of the donations over there in the top left-hand corner. You can also see that they're using the old name for RoyaL. Sorry was his previous ID. And I'm not sure exactly what that is over in the top right, or over for Zerg. It's small and what looks to me like ice. Is that small ice? I'm not sure exactly. Kind of looks like ice to me, but I might be wrong. I haven't studied Chinese for quite a long time. It's been like 8 years. I'll have to look up that character and see exactly what it is. I think it's got something extra that ice doesn't have, so I don't think that's actually ice. But regardless, using some older names and Chinese names for these players, they've definitely got their own lingo when it comes to StarCraft Broodwar. Even different naming conventions for these players. Drop coming in to the natural down bottom left will be cleaned up with relative ease. A plague on top of both of those dropships as well is pretty painful. He's just gonna ram the front. Okay, he doesn't have that many Marines over here. I thought he actually had more. I thought there was a chance he was gonna break the natural while this drop was distracting, but it looks like everything gets shut down, the drops included. The drops die, all the Marines gone, and a science vessel went down. So Queen stabilizing in a big way. He never lost any of his tech, only losing the Nidus Canal and a few drones. That's not bad. I mean, the Nidus Canal is a tempo play. If you kill the Nidus Canal, then it prevents the Zerg from reinforcing from either base, which means that there's a potential, there's a possibility where you can kind of ping pong back and forth. Like you hit the base over at bottom right, kill the Nidus Canal after everything pops through, then there's very little down at bottom left to actually defend, and then you can go for a drop down there, and nothing can pop through to save. And it becomes very problematic for the Zerg player, but RoyaL was not able to pull that move off. This is pretty annoying, having some mutas come over and just kind of harass his mineral lines at that fourth. Ooh, loses most of those mutas now. Pretty much all the mutas just went down there, but that's fine. The mutas are not that impactful anymore. Queen, gonna get a bunch of vessels. Oh my goodness, a really good Dark Swarm plus Plague there on the Marines. Just kind of push them away, not allow them to come forward and actually defend the vessels, which got taken out in large part there by Queen's Scourge. Another drop headed down to bottom left, but I think Scourge, yes, Scourge on the way. He's going to catch that. Second dropship dies as well, and I think the writing's on the wall here. Yeah, GG is called. A RoyaL taps out. He could have stayed in for a little longer. There weren't ultras out just yet, but he knew what was coming. Big rounds of ultras were about to finish that game, and so Queen takes game number 1. Let's jump in to Radion for game number 2. All right, it's time for Radion here at the icow series, and yes, it is the icow series. I saw some pretty funny comments later. I had a good laugh at some of the comments from my last video. What was it? Soma versus Mini. I think 2 different people commented saying that Wonyu doesn't mean icow, it means snail. And they showed the kanjis, they showed the Chinese characters. And I had a good laugh at that. That was pretty funny. Classic YouTube comments. Classic YouTube comments for sure. You know, sometimes you guys can get a little bit under my skin with your comments. Sometimes, you know, I just roll my eyes and go, oh my gosh, really? But I think this is one that we can all laugh at because just looking at the logo from Wonyu, it's in the thumbnail. Like, you might think I'm wrong. Okay, go ahead and think that I'm wrong, but just look at the thumbnail and look at his. Go ahead and look at his logo, and then tell me that he's actually a snail, and it's not icow. Okay, the Chinese characters on the logo literally means beef cup. So I had a pretty good chuckle at that. And I don't mean to call anybody out. It's all fun and games. It's all fun and games. But it was pretty funny reading. One of you guys said, actually, it means snail. Oh boy, that's pretty good. That's good stuff. I think that's one we can all laugh at. But regardless, The icow series will continue on, and we are very grateful to the Chinese friends out there, the 朋友, the 中国朋友 out there who are putting on this beautiful series and allowing us to cast it. Looks like a +1 build here from RoyaL. Gonna be opening up with that. It's got the wall there and getting into a +1. Most likely 4 racks +1. We'll see where he wants to go with that. Early engineering bay if he wants to go like all the way up to 5 racks, or probably not. I mean, it's kind of a dead build at this point. 3 racks with a quicker factory is a possibility, but most of the time it's going to be 4 racks. It just allows you to have a lot more pressure out on the map, really lean into that early upgrade. You can still get, you know, a 7-minute factory and be pretty on time with everything. But it's a strong build. It's very, very strong build. Here we go, RoyaL. Doesn't have any scouting information inside the main right now, but Queen not doing anything crazy. He's just going to be getting his Spire back at home. And RoyaL, second barracks on the way now. Getting that academy. Gonna be moving into Stim here in just a moment. Where will Queen throw down his third base? The way he's been droning here and the way his economy's looking, he should be getting a third relatively soon. He gets the third hatchery in the main, that macro hatchery in main. But hasn't sent out a drone just yet for the third base. It's always interesting to me when Zerg players decide to go 2.5 hatchery and then just sit with no third base for a really long time. I always feel super uncomfortable when I don't have a third base out early and somewhere to be defending. I feel like it's kind of an awkward position, but Zerg players at the highest level, these pro Zergs, tend to, like, they're pretty good at faking like they have a third and just making the Terran player think like, oh yeah, you probably have a third somewhere. So they start like wandering around with their Marines, trying to put on pressure, you know, going for scans everywhere, looking everywhere for that third base, and then suddenly get overwhelmed in the main by mutas while the Zerg player has a ton of Sunkens back at home in the natural. That tends to be the move when you don't see this early third. Now, it looks like Queen's going to take the third at the 6, which is a just terrible base to try to defend. Like, this base sucks when it comes to Zerg versus Terran. The natural bottom right or top left is better. The main is better. Center left is better. I mean, center right is probably better. At least you can stick some lurkers up on that high ground and maybe make a hold. But looks like he's going to come in here and start to tear apart these turrets. Look for an opening. Maybe just going to dive and build Sunkens at home. Yeah, I think he's got like 4 or 5 Sunkens building at home, and he's just going to try to go for that. Yeah, 4 Sunkens here are being made. They're all done at the right time. And the dive in the main is pretty strong. Let's see. Queen getting a lot of damage, killing off some SCVs. I think that RoyaL's figured out that he is in a bit of trouble right now. He doesn't know where the third is. Okay, Overlord dies there. Kind of a free Overlord. But that does end up going down. Still looking for more damage. Just 5 minutes left. I don't think he wants to challenge that turret anymore. A little bit of a repair and some Marines coming up to assist would be curtains for those mutas. And yeah, it looks like RoyaL just hasn't figured it out yet. I think he's scanning around and he's heading up to the top left with Marines. He's like looking for this base. He just doesn't know where it is. He just has no idea where it's at. And more mutas are going to be diving the main here soon. Let's see if RoyaL has what it takes. Let's see if he's got enough Marines in that main to actually stop this dive, because Queen has no incentive to turn around and not go in here, aside from this small group of Marines and a couple turrets. Like, there's nothing threatening the bust back at home. He's gonna go after the turrets. Let's see if he can get both of them. I believe he's got +1 now. He might be finishing up here in a moment. Start to two-shot those turrets down. Oh, the mutas are getting kind of low. I don't think the full mutalist stack is selected right now, but the mutas that we have selected are getting quite low. He loses a lot. Not able to break that main. He was hoping to kill both those turrets and really start to open up the position here over the barracks. Looks like he'll get it now, finally, with that reinforcement he just grabbed. But the Marines are still trading pretty well. RoyaL with some great control, as usual. Controlling his Marines at a top tier. Marine's going to head all the way to bottom right. Now, look, there's like nothing down here at the 6. That's crazy. It's weird to me that Queen doesn't have even the gas at the 6. He's got nothing mining down there. It looks like he just started mining at that location. RoyaL checks bottom right with his Marines. Those Marines have been on a serious adventure. Like, think about it. They went all the way to the natural at bottom left. They went all the way to the main top left. Then they came all the way back to the natural. And then they went all the way down to bottom right. That's a wild... That is an adventure for sure. Looks like they will finally find 6 o'clock. Finally gonna find 6 o'clock here. And so that base is gonna die. I think the Queen is kind of out of luck here. He was hoping to just break the main. He was hoping to just bust open RoyaL with this mutalist pressure, but it's just not gone his way. He's got like 1.5 mutalist groups. And he's still trying to get something done in the main, but RoyaL, I mean, he sent out a small group of Marines. He didn't send out that many Marines to try and pressure there, so he's had a lot back at home this entire time. And a Queen's Nest is coming. I guess it's going to be Queen going for a follow-up Defiler push. Like, he's just going to try to get some Lurkers out and Defiler and, like, just come over here and try to kill. I mean, it's a fine follow-up attack. I mean, I don't think he did enough damage to make it work. I don't think this is quick enough for it to work. There's going to be way too many vessels by the time he comes across with this. So I think the Queen is practically cooked. Like, I don't see it happening for him this game. But he does slide a base up into top left. Gonna try to reestablish a third. Lynx are gonna go up there and deal with that one Marine. I mean, it's so annoying that that one Marine finds the drone already. However, at least it didn't deny the base. It didn't stop the base from being thrown down. That's at least a silver lining for now. Here comes the Lurkers. Defiler's going to be coming out here soon. He would love to be able to trap RoyaL in his base. But RoyaL has 3 tanks. So you're just not going to trap him. You're not going to trap him with Lurkers. It just can't happen. And there's going to be a Radiate here soon. Vessel with a Radiate kind of shuts down the mutas, and then the tanks beat the Lurkers on the ground. He actually goes over to the top left, which, I mean, can he really play a normal game from here? Possibly, but I mean, it's going to be in a desperate hold situation because of these tanks. The Defiler's Mound is done, of course. There's going to be the addition of Consume coming up. Ooh, killing some tanks might be helpful. I mean, he's got to kill one of them, though. Don't just damage them all. All right. Irradiate's going to force everything away. There's the base finishing up in top left. No Nidus yet. He needs the Nidus now. The Nidus needs to be, like, almost done at this point, but it's just not even there. It's not quite there. He kills one tank. Gonna lose the second Lurker. Oh, just barely not gonna lose that second Lurker. That's crazy. But the tanks are already here. The base is gonna break. I mean, this Nidus Canal is just never going to finish. And that's going to be it. It's going to be GG here. Everything is kind of already settled. There's really no way to come back as queen. Not against a player like RoyaL. He's just not going to let you sneak a Defiler into his natural. Even a lower ranked player you could hand this game over to any random A rank player. I think they could probably win from here as Terran. Just keep hitting your radiates. Just keep on pumping Marines and medics, and you know, get some tanks out. Just make it hard. Just make it hard for the Zerg to do anything, and keep looking for another base. Send units all around the map. Just make sure that another base doesn't sneak out. He's trying to take 6 o'clock, but even if he gets that up and mining, he's only going to have like a couple of minutes before his main base runs out of gas, right? We're going to be... like we're talking about this base finishing. It'll probably be, you know, 18 minutes by the time he's actually mining gas, and you only have until 21 minutes before the gas is run out. So it's a bad situation. Not going to sugarcoat it. It seems like Queen wants to hang in for now. Money is on the line, so there's no reason to leave just yet, as long as he's still got a fighting chance. He got a Nidus into top left. Look at that. He snuck a Nidus over here. So I guess when that hatchery died, he used one of the larvae to make a drone, and then he used the drone to make a Nidus just before the creep receded away. And so he's managed to at least give himself like a fighting chance, some sort of chance here. It's not looking good, that's for sure, but hey, he's gonna try it. He's gonna do what he can. I think I just heard D-Matrix. Double D-Matrix Firebat. Gonna be a fantastic counter to what Queen is trying to do. Triple D-Matrix is even better. Very nice split there. Immediately pulling the lurker out, realizing what's happening, but it's too late. Just not enough stuff. It's a numbers game at this point. The D-Matrix Firebats themselves could kill everything. And GG will be called. There it is, guys. A win on the board for RoyaL. We're jumping into game number 3. So, guys, I know most of you know that I live in Japan, but a lot of the time it doesn't really feel like I live in Japan. I'm always making videos for you guys talking English and hanging out at home, being a bit of an otaku. Just kind of sitting at my desk, doing the normal things that I would do basically anywhere in the world. But it was my wife's birthday a couple days ago. We went to a temple, and I was just kind of sitting at the temple, and there was a kind of a garden there, and you pay for the entrance into the temple, and they give you matcha, and there's a place to sit in like a raised area above this garden with a 700-year-old pine tree. And I was just kind of chilling there, relaxed, looking out at the autumn leaves and the 700-year-old pine, drinking my matcha. And I was like, man, I'm actually in Japan right now. I really felt it that day. It was a really nice day. My wife just turned 31, and birthdays are starting to feel not quite as important anymore. I actually had a great birthday this year. Went to the beach and went camping. My wife bought me a tent. It was a really, really nice time, but this was good too. Anyways, just wanted to give you guys that little tidbit, because I know some of you guys think that living in Japan is really cool. It's interesting, of course, but it doesn't always feel like you're actually living in a foreign country if you're just kind of working online. It's certainly working online, making videos, that sort of thing. It certainly feels like just another normal day, especially once you get used to going to the grocery store and stuff like that. Everything, all the normal everyday stuff that you do becomes kind of routine loses its luster. But then every once in a while you go and see something pretty cool, and you kind of get that back. Anyways, I've gone on for long enough. We've got a 1-1-1 build here. Coming out of RoyaL, I really do like his 1-1-1. That's one thing I saw from that Blast from the Past I did yesterday, going back and watching the finals, or excuse me, the semifinals between RoyaL and Sulky, back from that season where he ended up winning, was that he was very cheesy. Like, he went really crazy with it. Threw out a very wide range of things, and even did some crazy stuff like proxying a factory inside his opponent's base, that sort of thing. Was pretty wild to see. I'm just kind of looking back on that. How strong he was in the matchup. Also, how kind of weak Sulky was back then, too. Like, there were many times where he was harassing with mutas and lings, and I was like, man, Sulky today just absolutely wrecks this, but he made small mistakes that ended up costing him games in that series, which was kind of fun to see. The growth of Sulky, the kind of coming into his own, and you really just get to see like how powerful he became. It's kind of crazy. Winning 4 ASL tournaments in a row is next level. Absolutely insane. Here comes that vulture out on the map now. It's actually headed, what, bottom? Where's this headed right now? Kind of surprised about that. Like, he's looking for a ling out on the map or something like that. There's actually 2 lings out here, so I guess that's what he's looking for. Yeah, these 2 lings are gonna manage to slip through the fog of war. Not gonna be found out by this vulture. It's gonna make its way over towards that natural. 3 vultures have been made, so there's likely a speed coming up with this build, and a run by about to occur right before the Mutalisk pop out. He's gonna hit this run by and try to deal as much damage as he can. Lings come flying out from the natural. No turnaround with these vultures here, so that's actually huge. He picks off the vulture there at the front, and it's not able to micro away at all. Ling Flood making its way to the natural. SCVs are going to be pulled up to the ramp. Vulture takes a lot of damage, but now that it's up here on the ramp, the SCVs can fight, and the vultures can just deal their damage. Like, maybe a couple of SCVs end up going down, but the Ling Flood has been denied, deleted, and look, there's no gas at the natural. Queen has really cut into his production to make that Ling attack happen, and it really has not paid off for him here. Only getting a single vulture, maybe a couple of SCVs, and absolutely nuking is Mutalisk timing. Maybe he can make a couple Scourge here. Maybe he can make a few Mutalisks, but he's got nothing like a regular 2 hatch or 2.5 hatch Mutalisk timing would be able to give him. We'll track down a vulture here. Other 2 are going to make a run for it, and may even find out about this hatchery down in bottom right. There's that potential. Hatchery bottom right. So far unscouted, may end up paying off for Queen. The fact that he got that online so quickly. I think before he even started mining his second gas is kind of good. It's going to help him to recover a little bit faster. But these vultures are going to continue to go around and look to see if they can spot or just catch some drones heading down towards bottom right. Might be eager to transfer some workers over to that base to really get it online here early. Vultures checking out around the natural. More drones have been made, and back at home, RoyaL full transition here into Marine Medic, it seems. A couple more barracks coming up, and it's going to be a Valkyrie push with a bunch of Marine Medic. And I think Siege mode. I think that's Siege mode right now, too. So, tank push is incoming. This is a fantasy-style push, which will be reliant on Royal making sure that no lurkers get out here for a whole position lurker play. You're only going to have a couple of scans, maybe 3 scans, 4 scans to try to push across the map and get into the natural, get into a nice position. Already, Queen has his lurker on the way, of course. Hydralis Den is done. No hive just yet, but I'm imagining the Queen's Nest maybe on the way here shortly. You really do need to get that down. You need to get that ready as soon as possible against a build like this, because you're going to be buying time and just trying to survive while this push is making its way in. Like, you gotta, maybe one thing you'd like to do here is burrow lurkers over in front of the Terran base, and then as he's pushing, keep unburrowing and moving back, and see if you can buy time by forcing out additional scans so that he just doesn't have enough scan to keep pushing. Then he has to wait for an extra few seconds, extra 30 seconds or whatever, what have you. Here comes that push now. Nothing out here to actually slow that down. I don't think Queen's going to survive this, guys. I think we might see another royal victory here in a moment. Just 2 sunken colonies. No sunken colonies stretching out into the front. No lurkers complete. No hive. And I don't think there's any hope at all. No hope either. A few more mutas pop out. But the Valkyrie number is insane. 4 Valkyries absolutely wrecks. And it's unlikely he'll be able to catch all of these Valkyries and just hit them all with Scourge. If he does that, maybe there's a shot. That could end up happening. That could end up causing a bit of an upset here. Catch all the Valkyries. Oh, can he do it? 2 Valkyries go down. 3rd Valkyrie falls. 3 out of 4. But those Valkyries got a lot of damage on these mutas as well. A lot of damage there on the mutas. The vultures have laid down mines in front of the natural. So even when lurkers pop out, they're not going to be able to run forward here and buy time by, like I said, being annoying and just kind of like hopping backwards. Valkyries come forward to help these Marines push everything back. I don't see any tanks, guys. He must not be going for tank push. He's going to take a 3rd. I really thought this was tank push, but it seems like I was incorrect. Just vultures with mines. Lots of vultures with mines. Oh, and a big mech transition. Why even add these extra Marines then? Why add 2 more barracks? Not really clear on that. I feel like that's a little bit awkward now to try and switch into full-on mech. I'm not sure why he didn't do that earlier. Switching, I guess it's already awkward switching Valkyries into mech. I've seen it done before. I've seen it done well in the past, but it seems awkward. It seems weird. You don't have a lot of power on the map, and you're really reliant on these mines to buy you a lot of time. I'm gonna take some more hits on these Valkyries, and you gotta keep these alive. They're so critical for a player who's just building vultures and tanks to follow up. Getting mines out everywhere. Like the Valkyries are insanely important, and they're crazy expensive as well. So you can't afford to be just throwing them away. Looks like he's also getting into vessels as well. Vessels with a radiate. My gosh. Is really stretching this budget to the absolute max. We're going to try to take bottom left while he continues his mech transition. Taking the CC down here as the 4th base comes up for Queen. +1 is done. Tanks are ready to move. +1 armor on the mutas is going to help them out with the Valkyries. Valkyries already kind of low. Okay, they've been repaired. Never mind. 2 big volleys, but again, the armor is going to be helping those out. Vultures likely to find the center right now, finally. 5th base on the way for Queen at that center right. Will he be able to find bottom left? I think 2 or 3 turrets have been built down there now. So even if he finds that, it might not be... yeah, he can probably just still kill those turrets. I mean, he's got armor. Yeah, only 2 turrets. He should be fine. Valkyries are going to come in, try to help out, but the Scourge annihilate everything. And he's going to be able to delay this CC. That's pretty nice. SCV transfer comes through. Turret's under threat, though. 2 medics go down immediately. Not enough Marines here. Not a good enough reaction from RoyaL. And, I mean, he just kills all the medics. Yeah, there it is. He's just going to kill this. A bit of a sloppy transition from RoyaL. Trying to get this base online. He just didn't quite have the numbers to make this work. And, I mean, I guess he had the numbers if he microed that perfectly. If he defended everything perfectly, but at least he can come down here with the Goliaths now, push this away, and actually get this base online. Meanwhile, another CC over at the Natural. And a tank army coming down to the bottom right. Okay. He might be able to kill a couple lurkers here before Defiler pops out to get that Dark Swarm down. That's something. Bunch of Hydras gonna die here, kind of for free. Tanks are trying to shove forward right now. Where is that Defiler? Finally, the Defiler arrives. There we go. Defiler, Dark Swarm, Lurkers. Gonna be able to push everything back. And so, you know, this is not really gonna get much damage done. RoyaL will have to back away, and there's really no way to punch through this. Not with one vessel. You're never gonna keep up with the endless lurkers that are being made, but he might be able to hit center right. Maybe he can rotate, lay mines at the Natural, and try to hit center right. That's a possibility. There's no Nidus there yet. And Queen is he's just kind of bringing himself together right now. He's not quite there with all the Hydras. He hasn't made Queens. So it's not like he's got the antidote to the mech play just yet. You may have to make a bunch of Queens, but it seems like he's just preparing to rely on pure Hydra. Hydra, Defiler, a few Lurkers smattered here and there with some Lings. That's kind of what it's looking like, and that's hard to make it to make work against mech, especially as the upgrades really start to kick in. You have to keep it scrappy. It's kind of like going for Gateway Man versus Terran. It's like you got to keep killing off tanks, because if they ever hit the critical mass and they just have a nice setup right in front of your Natural or whatever, it's gonna be such a bad trade that you just can't let that happen. You cannot let that happen. You have to keep trading. You have to keep killing tanks and putting the Terran on the back foot. At least everywhere he can kind of defend with just Dark Swarm and Lurker. It's very hard to break any of these bases. It's also very hard to come out here and fight. And Queen is starting to come out here to look for those trades, look for those fights. This is a great trade. If RoyaL's just going to stand here and take damage with the Dark Swarm Hydra, that's fantastic for him. It's fantastic for Queen. But he's got to get up here on this high ground. He's got to defend this 5th base. Or counterattack. Counterattack bottom left wouldn't be too bad either. There's the Queens. Queens are coming out, but they're going to be pretty darn late. They're going to be very, very late here. So he's actually going to have to beat this army without Queens. And then those Queens will be kicking in at a later date. Trying to get on top of this. Not a right click, though, so the Lings are not going to drag the mines too well. Lurkers get down here. Does anything burrow, though? I don't think so. I think everything died. I think everything under that Dark Swarm just died. Oh, there's one Lurker on the high ground. One Lurker with just 19 HP. Managed to survive there up on the high ground. Queen's so close to being broken at the center right. But RoyaL's so close to losing a lot of tanks as well. A lot of these are damaged. And more Lings are piling out. Hydra's going to be popping out here soon once again as well. Got to start taking this gas here. Queen still not having any Broodling just yet. Still a little, gonna be a little while before Broodlings can come out. Another, oh, he lost the Defiler. That's a big moment. The Defiler goes down. Nice snipe on the vessel. Again, gonna be making those lurkers under Dark Swarm that much more powerful. Making it that much harder to break this base. Where are the remainder of the units? Just Lings, pure Lings coming up here, hoping to just bait shots from the tanks to actually pick more of this off. And he actually gets a lot of those tanks. So, you know what? Maybe he does save center right. Really need to get that gas online. He does begin to work towards that now. Bottom center being taken as well. Just pure Ling spawning out everywhere. Is he going to be going for Ultralisk here soon? I'm kind of getting the feeling that we're going to see a bunch of Ultralisk pop out in a moment. Wow, that's a lot of queens. Dang, that is a ton of queens. Like, if you're just going to be making pure Ling, you're probably saving gas for something, right? I would expect some Ultras to pop out, but generally Ultra just not the right unit to deal with mass tank. Tends to not work out too good for the Zerg unless they're just kind of far ahead. They've got the momentum on their side. Would be a little bit better to just stick with Ling, Hydra, and Queen. Here comes the Queens now. They definitely have energy finally. It's time. Queens are going to be able to break this, no doubt. There's just not enough anti-air here to shut this down. There's the big spread on the Queens. Going to be able to clone all of those Broodlings. Make sure each Queen attacks a different tank and gets rid of it. And an attack over towards the top center is actually going to shut down this base. So RoyaL denies the base at top center, and he takes a base at bottom center. So he's actually ahead in bases now, which is never a good sign for the Zerg. Never want to be behind, especially against a meching Terran player. Their units are just going to become so valuable and so cost efficient. Never want to be forced into a position like this, but Queen's going to have to try and play his way out of it. Maybe make some counterattacks happen. Maybe get some drops going. RoyaL taking center as well. Dude, this guy is out of his mind. RoyaL is out of his mind today, man. That is wild. Taking the center is pretty crazy right now. Yeah, maybe I should start doing that. Start showing my face cam whenever anyone donates on stream. I mean, I already show my face cam on stream. We'll do that maybe with the Soup Duel series or something like that. Might be a good plan. I bet you guys would like that a lot. We've got the tanks moving over to this side, but hey, that Plague is going to come in super clutch, bringing those tanks down to 1 HP so that everything can clean it up real nice. RoyaL maybe overextending here, man. I'm not sure. Pushing in all the way to this point feels like an overextension. Like, why did we need to go all the way to the this far past the natural? I feel like if he just keeps the bases that he has and pressures top center, just keep Queen off of top center, then he should be able to win this, especially if he holds middle. Like, if he's got the middle of the map locked down, there's nothing that Queen can do about that. I feel like he should just straight up win. He should just win by default. But we'll see. Queen, with that overextension, has been given a bit of leeway on the map and has a lot of Queens to work with. His namesake here. Ready to go. He's actually going to pull the trigger on an attack in towards this middle. Getting rid of the turrets first. As he pushes forward, Queens are going to come out. Start to lay down their Broodlings. Not sure if that was an Irradiate or an EMP, but we saw the vessel cast something. Hydra's coming down from the north, consuming Broodlings to throw down spells. You'll love to see it. That is some of the very little known Zerg tech. Casting Broodling and then consuming them to cast down Defiler spells. That is pretty sick. That's like casting a broodling on a unit to make 2 broodlings, and then cast a broodling on a broodling to make 2 more. So then you have 3 broodlings, and then casting another one to get 4, and casting another one to get 5. Only person I've ever seen do that is Larva. And that's a way that you can make infinite units to fight if you don't have any money. Of course, it's Larva. The most petty way possible, playing into a ZVP in the ultra late game and trying to, you know, trying to get as efficient as possible. But those games can be fun as well. Looks like drops are finally coming in. That's definitely the last pillar of the Zerg play in this type of matchup, where you've got the Hydralisk Defiler Queen. Got to get that drop so that you can start dropping on some of these bases. Then the Queens can come in and get rid of all the tanks that are trying to assault the position. Top center is under threat. Queens are quickly being moved into position to try and help out with this. Looks like they'll be arriving just in the nick of time here as all the tanks are sieging up, being brought forward to deal with all of this. Great trade here for Queen. A lot of stuff thrown away there by RoyaL to get hardly any damage, but RoyaL's still got so much. Like, he's maxed. Practically maxed with 2,500 in the bank. 1,000 gas as well. Like, this man is not going to have to leave the game for a very long time. He is definitely going to be sticking with it for... Oh my gosh, look at all the turrets in the middle too, by the way. Those are anti-queen turrets. Radiate there on that queen, making sure that it dies, but not preventing it from casting Broodling. What a lot of Terran players would do, not as many as you would think, but a lot of Terran players will keep scanning around the map looking for the queens, and then when they find them all clumped up in one location, send in a suicidal vessel to try and EMP the whole clump. And that way you can gain a lot of momentum and give yourself a lot of time before the queens are ready again. Can be a great time to just attack. Unsiege everything and just attack. Right after you hit that EMP, queens are not going to be available, and so Hydras will have to fight on their own, and it's just not a good... It's just a recipe for disaster. Pushing in now towards this middle. Eating a lot of the turret damage, but getting off the broodlings that he needs to actually crack this position for the most part. Well, there's still a long line of tanks here in the back, but maybe a flank with the queens can come in and take out a lot of those. Looks like a lot of these queens will end up dying. A lot of queens will end up falling because of the turret coverage that's been brought to bear here for RoyaL. He's built so many turrets, so many broodlings going on, so many tanks dying, but RoyaL just not even phased, man. Look at his supply. He's really keeping up. And he's going to start to pressure top center. I think the queen spent too much of his energy and lost a lot of queens. I think he might not have enough to stop this. He may end up losing this base. Yeah, that's a lot of tanks over here. And a lot of these Hydras are going to die, which means that even if he broodlings every tank, he might not have enough Hydras to actually kill this. Okay, maybe he does. Looks like he does get that with a few more Hydras popping up. Oh my, 39 HP on that. It does end up dying. Hydra, or excuse me, the hatchery at 12. Ends up falling. Follow-up attack here. Just non-stop from RoyaL. Look at him just rallying forward. 199 supply. He's got units queued up in the factories, no doubt. Spent everything and has everything queued up and ready to go. And so he's just going to continue pressuring non-stop. And he's doing what I said earlier, what he should actually do, which is just try to hold middle and prevent 12. Keep the bases that he has alive, hold the middle of the map, and just prevent that extra base from ever coming down. And he's done a great job of it so far. Queen is running out of gas, literally and figuratively. He's running out of places to mine. And he just doesn't really have that much anymore. He doesn't have that many queens. Gotta keep reproducing these queens. I think he has been doing so, but at the same time, just trying to spend all the energy is hard enough as it is. Even if you don't have like a huge number of queens, spending all the energy is kind of tough. But as you keep losing them and replenishing them and then keep spending the energy as well, it's tough. Looks like he's not going to break bottom center. He got in there. He got some tanks. He made things difficult for RoyaL, but RoyaL is adding so many turrets now and in a huge number of Goliaths as well. Just spamming out Goliaths like crazy. More Hydras coming out here trying to fight, but every time the queens come forward to target, should try to get one of these broodlings off. The target fire is fantastic from RoyaL, and there it is, GG. He taps out. Queen taps out, and RoyaL takes a lead in the series. All right, guys, moving right along here. We're hopping into game number 5. We got Queen over in the bottom left. And of course, RoyaL here in the top left as well. And I think, wait. This is Dominator, yes. For a second there, just looking at the mini-map, I thought it might have been that other, the 4-player version of this map, but no. I'm insane. Maybe it was because I was watching some older matches earlier on in the day, and I was seeing a bunch of old maps that I haven't seen for a really long time, and I realized that there's actually another map, an old map from back in that ASL that RoyaL won that had 2 gases in the main. I was like, I didn't even remember that map. Wait, what the heck was it called? I can't remember now. I can't remember what it was called, but it had... Let me see if you guys remember this. Let me know in the comments. 2 gases in the main, and then there was like a gate going down a ramp to a base, like a pocket expansion with a neutral cannon at it. And so you could send an SCV or a drone through or a probe through and kill the cannon and then take the back natural, but it took some time to actually kill the cannon. Let me know if you remember that one. That was a wild map, but that was maybe one of the first 2 gases in main maps that we've had. Kind of an interesting idea, and I think they've really expanded on it well, bringing it into Litmus as a 2-player map. That's a pretty sweet map. I really do enjoy that one. I think Optimizer was kind of lame. I wasn't a big fan of Optimizer. You know, the 4-player map with 2 gases in the main, like, it was all right, but I think Litmus is a way more interesting map. Way more interesting. And anyway, we've got a 1 Rax Fast Expand here. Ooh, oh shit. Oh god, this is gonna fall apart pretty quickly. The 1 Rax Fast Expand, usually pretty safe against even an early pool, but this early pool built 8 lings, went straight across the map, and actually just rams it through. Just gonna go right through that wall, kill the Marine, and get right inside here. I'm gonna kill this other Marine as well, of course. Even with just 1 ling attacking that, can end up getting that. And dude, this is getting pretty bad. Like, this is a lot of damage that RoyaL is eating right now. We might be seeing an even match. We might be seeing Queen evening things out here. Look at that. Just immediately getting in, getting so much damage, killing so many SCVs. And this is not over, too. He's sending 4 more lings. So he could just fully drone behind this and just be way ahead, but he's actually going to commit to 4 more lings, see if he can try to get some more damage. And I think he will. Like, he's dragging the Marines all over inside the main. And these 4 next lings are actually just going to run right past, kill another Marine, and GG is called. Wow, just like that with an early pool. I barely even got to talk about that game, but we're right into the next one. Sorry for being all over the place in that last one. Didn't realize how much damage was going to get done by that early pool until it just happened. Usually the Terran player able to just kind of block that up. with such a nice wall at the front. A pool first with some lings coming across the map just won't do anything, but Queen making it clear that you can certainly deal some damage if your opponent doesn't pull an SCV in time or micros that a little bit improperly. Now we're here on our next map with RoyaL possibly taking CC first. Yeah, it's looking like a CC first here. He's actually going to get away with this as well. He's like, all right, early pool last game, 8 lings. You're not going to do that again. 100% I get away with a CC first this game, and it looks like he will, which is kind of wild. Queen making a lot of drones after this pool. Is he going to take the gas, or is he going to go 3 hatch? No, okay. 3 hatch before gas is kind of a dead build. It hasn't been used very much recently. Kind of been pushed out of the meta by Terran players going 5 racks. And so that's not what he's going to try and pull off here. But he will get this drone over to the natural and start to seriously harass this SCV. That SCV is getting very low. I don't know how many hit points are left on that, but I wouldn't be surprised if it's left less than 15, less than 3 hits left. This is really going to be bothersome for RoyaL, but in the end, he will get away with CC first. As his gas on the way here in the main and gets the scout over into Queen's main base. Oh, he spotted the SCV that was low. The low SCV inside the mineral line, almost getting targeted down there, but nice pull and repair here from RoyaL. Gonna keep that safe. We'll be able to get back to mining here in the natural while getting his marine out for this wall. And I'm not sure what Queen's up to here. I mean, he went for a lot of drones after his pool. He didn't go, you know, 12 hatch, 11 pool, 10 gas. He went like 12 hatch, 11 pool, 12 gas, something like that. Somewhere along those lines. I'm not sure exactly the timing on that, but he definitely slowed down his tech, which will allow him to get another hatchery out, excuse me. Hatchery in the main just went down. It's a much more economic build, but the timing to punish is just not quite going to be there. I don't think the timing would be present anyway, so I guess this is an alright way to follow this up. Just get a few extra drones out early, really pump up that mineral count and get an extra hatchery on the way. He might go for a very quick third base as well. He might optimize well enough to get a third base going right away. Is that a drone heading to the third base? Looks like he might be taking it over. No, these are lings scouting out for that SCV. SCV hidden way in the top right. It's kind of camping out over there. Gonna come running into the natural when he thinks it's probably safe to do so. Overlord can't quite get over the natural, so he's not sure if there's a bit of a timing coming out here at 5 minutes. There's not. It's going to be a follow-up +1 4 racks timing from RoyaL, so he's just going to be sitting back, being a bit safe. Actually, I don't see the eBay. I think the eBay is way down in the bottom left below the map. So I believe this is +1 4 racks, but can't be totally sure. Hydrogen already coming up here in the main. This is actually a great counter to the 4 racks. It's not a direct counter, but it does allow you to get lurkers out way faster and kind of negate that timing that the Terran is going to have coming out with these Marines and that big supply of bio pushing across the map early. Not going to mean quite as much if you've got lurkers already prepared. I think there's a drone heading to top right, and there may be hydras popping out here shortly to go over there and set up for a couple of lurkers on high ground. The first few mutas going to fly in here to the main. Not the biggest commitment to mutas. Let's see how many there are actually in this stack. He actually flies. He was expecting a Valkyrie. Oh, look at that. Totally expecting a Valkyrie here. Not going to find it. You can see 5 mutas and 2 Scourge. That is a Valkyrie sniping force. He was absolutely searching for the Valkyrie here. And is going to be surprised to see just a 4 racks +1 on the way. Yeah, it makes sense. Lurker is way better. Like, this quick of Lurker is actually better against the Valkyrie play than the 4x +1. The thing about 4x +1 is you get the +1 fast. That also means you get the +1 armor quickly, though, too, which allows the Marines to tank an extra hit from the Lurkers if they're at full HP. It takes 3 hits to kill. And so you can actually punch through low numbers of Lurkers if it's not perfectly prepared. The way to prepare this at the natural for Queen is you need a Lurker stack with a Overlord over top of it. Now, it doesn't seem like you need that this early on because there's no Irradiates coming out. That's what it's generally used for, the Lurker stack with the Overlord over top. But it's super critical to hold on against these bio pushes that have that +1 armor, because otherwise the bio can just spread, run forward, and just tank the sunken colonies while sniping down all the Lurkers. You just right click on the Lurkers after running forward, and there's not quite enough DPS to kill everything, all the Marines on the ground, before they can kill all the Lurkers, and then the Marines just stand there while being healed by the medics and just blast through the sunken colonies, and it's pretty one-sided. If the Marines are forced to kill the sunken colonies first, because you've got that stack set up with the Overlord over top, then it becomes a little bit more doable. Like, then the hold gets it gets a little easier, and it becomes a bit dirtier for the Terran player to try to push through when they can't target Lurkers. That's a lot of Lings on the map. Look at that huge clump of Lings running around the top right-hand side of the map right now. It's like 2 to 3. I guess it's 2 control groups of Lings with 1 control group of mutas. And he's hoping to smash this first Bioforce. It is difficult to wipe this out because he hasn't really been able to damage it too much. He hasn't really done a lot of damage to the Bio Ball. Not a lot of harassment to that has been done so far. And RoyaL's going to have +1 attack. I mean, he's probably got it already with +1 armor on the way. So it's a little bit scary right now for Queen, honestly. This Bio Ball is big, and these Lings that he invested into, RoyaL's done a very smart thing, which is just to keep reinforcing and not move out prematurely. Because the Lings are great against a small group of bio, but once you get to a really big group of bio, it's very painful. It's very painful to tack in with Lings. Like, it's almost impossible to take a reasonable trade, to take a good trade and actually wipe that force out. RoyaL makes his way to the natural. He's gonna see exactly what I prescribed. Lurkers stacked up with an Overlord over top, which makes it, again, very hard to break through. This is a nice catch. Catching, what, how many medics? 3 already? 4 total medics end up going down. The Lings are going to run defense. That's pretty much what they're good for right now, is just eating some damage so these mutas can deal a little bit more damage to those medics, get a few more kills out there. So that was pretty good. Didn't use up too many mutas, and killed off a lot of the pushing power, a lot of the busting power from RoyaL, which is awesome. There's the first Irradiate, but these mutas are not stacked, so it's an easy pull. Queen will pull that out very, very quickly. Lurkers here on the high ground are not stacked, and they do not have Overlords over them, but the high ground makes a big difference here. And unless he comes up, I guess he already spent one of his Irradiates, right? So he can't actually cast 2 Irradiates on those high ground Lurkers right now, which is a blessing here for Queen. If those 2 Irradiates go down right now, then I don't think he would have the Nidus Canal attached in time. This Nidus just finished. He's going to be connecting it right now. If there were 2 irradiates there over at the 3rd. He could have irradiated both of those lurkers, two of the 3 lurkers. And then, man, it would have been tough to hold with just 1 lurker and some mutas. However, as it stands, 3 lurkers or 2 lurkers there on the high ground are going to stand firm. And yeah, this Nidus will connect. That's a big round of drones that just pops through, immediately saturating the 3rd base. Queen doing a pretty decent job here, but RoyaL is still going to get big. Like, he's still going to be powerful. It's not like there's been immense economic damage done to RoyaL in this game. In fact, Queen barely got any damage with the early mutas, opting rather to just fight the Marines a little bit more rather than diving on SCVs. Which means RoyaL is going to get really huge. He's going to double expand right off the bat. He's going to continue to pump vessels. He might want to go for drops. It depends on how quickly Queen comes down this ramp and tries to take his 4th. Because the quicker he tries to take the 4th, the more vulnerable he's going to be to drops. The more space he has to defend, the more he's going to be stretched thin, and the harder it's going to be. So we'll see if Queen wants to come down here right away. We're also moving into position in front of both naturals, setting up a spot where he can just keep running forward and looking for irradiates over and over again. Scourge spread out all over the place, looking out for the potential drops that could be coming in. It doesn't seem like RoyaL wants to do that. He actually looks to be just powering, getting bigger and bigger and bigger. Might want to go for another mech transition, actually. That's a potential. It's a possibility. The wipeout on these Marines. Mutas getting some value. And even forcing 3 irradiates. 4 irradiates. Wow. You know, that's actually kind of bad for RoyaL. 4 irradiates is a little bit rough. And these lurkers make their way over with a Dark Swarm Defiler to the 3rd base. That's actually massive. RoyaL completely missing that attack is likely going to lose a lot of SCV. Actually, the SCVs slipped past. So, opportunity kind of missed out on by Queen. He could have gotten a lot more SCVs there while RoyaL was just not paying attention. 3 vessels will be sent home to immediately cast irradiates and just get rid of all of these pesky lurkers and the Defiler, of course. Queen pushing forward. God, okay, he's just going to try to go around with another lurker plus Defiler attack. I think that's what we're going to see here. Try to slip past. Slip by under the radar. It's a big map. There's lots of space out here. If Queen just happens to slip by and RoyaL's not able to scout that in time, it could be some really good free damage. Seems like RoyaL's going to be in position, though, to catch this. You can see where he's placed his army. Kind of out to the side there. Dark Swarm goes down. Plagues go down. Trading pretty well right now, and there's about to be ultras, guys. Ultras are going to be popping out here shortly. 1,000 gas in the bank. Will RoyaL be fully prepared for this? I think he's been slowed down a little bit by the little counterattacks and stuff. Oh yeah, this is a good move from Queen. He brings Lings over here to just check where the bio ball is. He sees the bio ball and then knows that his path is clear to walk these lurkers all the way down to bottom center. And he's just going to get over here. Dude, I think Queen going to win this game, man. The way that things are going, it'll be very difficult for RoyaL to pull this one off. Like, he's going to have to hope that he gets a little bit lucky and, you know, catches up or catches Queen off guard at one of these bases and breaks through. Because if Queen defends properly, as he should, and I mean, he's doing so much damage here. Like, he's just not allowing RoyaL to scale up. He's not allowing RoyaL to mine off of 4 bases and become really powerful. So, as long as he keeps the Dark Swarms going, he defends in the air, and he just keeps lurkers here, I think he's going to have an immense ultraless timing. He's a little bit supply blocked right now, so he should be... I think he's actually getting damaged by a battlecruiser over at the natural, kind of missing it. There it is, battlecruiser. So he actually lost a few overlords over in that area. And so, you know, it's a little bit painful. Some Scourge are coming out. Oh, Lurkers actually come running out and just die. You get a good plague. Oh my gosh, what a plague, what a plague. That is nasty. Huge, 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 huge plague there. And Queen is going to spend that gas here very soon. He's actually spent a lot of it. Should be a massive wave of ultras coming out soon. Big, 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 big wave of ultras popping out any second now. Look at all the gas that's just been spent. Thousands of gas just went somewhere. There's the Ultralisk Cavern in the main, so definitely Ultra's going to be popping out. And it's time for Queen to get aggressive. I mean, he's been a little bit aggressive this game already. Wow, getting a bunch of these vessels. Damn, so many vessel kills there. That's really painful. Lings and Ultras popping out at this natural. One Firebat with a D-Matrix going to work. Going to work on these drones. He's actually going to get quite a lot. But overall, this is not an attack that can work. It can actually finish or deal significant damage to Queen. It's going to get cleaned up. And the Ultras will start to overwhelm. In fact, they're going to overwhelm very quickly because he just spent a ton of bio trying to break that position. It was kind of a last-ditch effort there from RoyaL to just go for it. Do everything he can to just get in there and get the kills as quickly as he can. Didn't end up paying off. And so the Ultras are just going to be unleashed on the map. Here they come. Has that Ultraless speed now. Taking good trades here. No 5th base just yet for Queen. He actually does need to get a 5th base up. They should be moving a drone to go and try and take that already, but it's being a little bit slow with that attempt, and more Ultras going to pop out here now. Lings and Ultras plus the Dark Swarm going to come down. Great plague there once again. Ultra actually going to go down. Oh my gosh, is he going to start to break through here? Lings and Ultras popping through at the 11th hour. Not under Dark Swarm, but still enough to break this. That was a little bit crazy. That Dark Swarm wasn't on top of the Ultra. It was more aggressive. And so he wasn't able to get under there initially with the Ultra and looked a little bit scary. Another pair of Scourge Connect killing off that battlecruiser, but more battlecruisers here still. Hydra's being made to go ahead and pick off some of these vessels. He's getting so many vessel kills. It's crazy. It's crazy. So many vessel kills with that Hydra. And some Scourge coming out to finish the BC as well. And now he's just been removed from the map. RoyaL has no presence on the map any longer. All these medics are going to end up going down. And I don't see him holding bottom right or bottom center. Both those bases are going to be pretty well wide open. You can see no defenses there at all. Ling's just heading directly to that position. Another Bioforce comes out, and it might head towards the natural, which is a little bit empty right now. There's not a lot there for Queen. But as long as he's got a few rallies popping out, he should be okay. Especially if he has the Defiler. He might be missing out on that, but let's see here. Wow, that's a lot of spores. So many spores being made here because of all the battle cruisers that have been spawned. And there it is. GG is called. RoyaL taps out. And of course, Queen going 3-2 in the series so far. Match point is coming right up. Okay, we're rushing through this series on match point now. I got to get this done and get it out to you guys as soon as possible. I'm recording. It's 7:46 and I wanted to release at 8 p.m. but got a little distracted. It's been a busy day today. Hope you guys are having a great one and enjoying this series overall. I've been having a few comments of people saying, "Oh, you should leave the audio in. Leave the audio in, you know, leave the Chinese audio." So I might do that every once in a while. Leave the Chinese audio in. If you're one of those guys who really wants to have the unedited or I guess, what would you call it? AI fixed, AI audio, background audio, vocals. If you want the vocals in, definitely leave the comment, or at least like one of the comments that says that, because that's kind of how I'm going off of this. Like, if enough people are saying one thing, then that's kind of the way I'm gonna go with it. If it's just one guy in chat, you know, if it's just one comment, one person, I'm not gonna get one guide, all right? I'm not gonna get one guide in chat. I'm gonna follow what you guys are thinking, the trend, you know, who the majority of people, how they're liking it. Of course, most of the other tournaments are still gonna be like that. KCM's gonna be like that with the Korean voices in the background. That's not changing anytime soon. Anyways, just a bit of an experiment here with AI. And so you guys just let me know what you think. Drone over here once again, getting some harassment down. It's a fast pool here from Queen. Kind of looks like a 12 pool. I didn't actually see the exact timing on that. But it looks like a 12 pool, 12 gas, 12 hatch, which is a build that I have practiced quite a bit. This is a build that I've done quite a lot. It's actually not that good of a build on this map, just due to the fact that eBay block is really, really common on this map, and that's actually the counter to 12, 12, 12. Now, forgive me if I'm off on that a little bit, but you can see how Queen was taking the hatchery quite a bit later, and how if there was a SCV that was sent out on the map initially to eBay block, how much of a problem that would have been. That would have been very annoying. Very, very annoying. You would have had the lings out at this point, but still the eBay would have a lot of HP. It would be really screwing up the build, because the 12, 12, 12 is extremely precise. You have to be perfectly optimized to pull it off. You can't be can't be taking some damage. What? Okay. We're on Litmus. Not that crazy. It's not that crazy, but I'm surprised he doesn't have a wall. Like, he went for a 1-1-1, didn't build a wall, and then went for 2-port Wraith, which is a little bit on the crazy side. Like, generally you want that wall to make yourself a bit safe. He's coming out with the Vulture. Queen is convinced that there's vultures coming, that there's a potential for, you know, Vulture speed. Maybe like a Valkyrie build, but let's see if he is ready for this 1-1-1. You actually want Burrow against this. Burrow would be the correct counter to something like this. It doesn't exactly, like, it doesn't kill the Terran player, but it definitely helps you to mitigate drone losses in the early game. The Spire with this build should be very fast, because this is not a typical, you know, 12 hatchery play. The 12, 12, 12, the hatchery, the mutas come out a little bit quicker. You can get a very quick muta play going, and you can also go for it. Like, this is probably one of the better openers to go for a Mutalisk all-in. I don't think that's exactly what he's doing here. In fact, he's built a lot of lings. You can see he doesn't have the second gas. He's planning to just do as much damage as he can with these lings, and then win the game with the mutas afterwards. And it looks like he might just straight up win this game. Yeah, he's just going to do way too much damage, and the small trickle of mutas that's coming across the map, RoyaL's not going to be able to hold that. Maybe he holds it. Actually, you know what? Let's hold off for a second here. This is some good micro with the Vulture. That's for sure. Very good micro with the Vulture. Does falter here at the end, but very good micro with the Vulture initially. And he gets the wall started to get set up here. He'll only lose a few SCVs. Does he have an eBay coming? He's also got Cloak. Cloak is going to be the big thing here. As long as he has Cloak, it's going to be hard for Queen to finish. The plan was to get in here, slow down the eBay, slow down the turrets, with the Lings, you know, kill all the Marines, that sort of thing, and then come flying in with the Mutas and just get the finisher. It's really looking like a Mutalisk all-in now. You can see just 2 drones on the main minerals, or excuse me, the natural mineral patches, and full Mutalisk production. Usually you need about 3 mutas. 3 drones on the mineral patches. He's going across the map with the Wraiths. That's crazy. This is absolute craziness. It's going to be like a base trade situation here, guys. Look at this. He's going to fly in with Wraiths. If he has Cloak, or if he has Burrow, excuse me, game's over. Game is absolutely over. He has to kill, like, every single drone here. Like, all the drones need to go down. This is a wacky scenario, what we're seeing right now. Diving in on top of all the SCVs. SCVs are going to go down like crazy. But the Cloak Wraiths are doing a good job. They're just gunning down these mutas. Of course, he's not fully controlling them right now. So, I mean, they will be decloaking after a certain amount of time. Ling's still here in the main. Wraith's killing a lot of drones. But they're running out of Cloak as well back at home. Another Wraith pops out. Another Wraith going to work here. Oh, there's a Overlord that's floated its way all the way in to that natural. And so eventually there will be detection here to deal with these Wraiths. There's just not enough money to make even a single Wraith at this point. RoyaL, I think he's killed every drone, though. 700 minerals in the bank, however. 700 minerals in the bank for Queen. How the heck does he have 700 minerals? That's kind of crazy. Every drone dies. It's kind of supply blocked. Some Overlords are going to be popping here soon. I think he's going to kill another Overlord. No, he doesn't see it. He should go over to his base and kill the Overlord there. Because that's the closest Overlord. Kill the closest Overlord, and then Cloak can kind of save him. Cloak can keep him alive. A lot of Scourge were just made. A lot of Scourge were just made. Can RoyaL save this? I mean, he's going to have like 1 SCV. He's going to have 1 SCV start to mine. He's got 50 more minerals in the bank. Should definitely save those minerals because, yeah, definitely cancel that SCV, buddy. I don't know why we would be building that. Yeah, definitely cancel. Okay, save that money. Gonna be chasing down a lot of these mutas. A lot of these mutas are going to die. He's got a lot of run time before he runs into this Overlord. It's a shame he didn't kill this other Overlord. He's going to run into it. Turn. Oh. One of the Wraiths uncloaked. One of the Wraiths is uncloaked now. And I don't think he has enough energy. I don't think he has enough energy to make this work. Yeah, he's going to lose the last Wraith. And that will be GG. Queen. Going to be your winner for this series. The best of 7 goes to him. And that is it, guys. GG. Well played by Queen. Guys, thank you so much for watching. This was a pretty fun tournament so far. The icow production. Yes, indeed, it is icow. And it has been a fantastic series so far. Let me know what you guys think about the AI, the icow situation, all your thoughts in the comments down below. Thank you so much to everybody who supports on Patreon. Couldn't do it without you guys. And we've got big things in store. We got big things coming down the pipe, guys. Stay tuned for more awesome Broodwar content. We'll see you in the next video.